Hello to all my BPTV fans, YouTube fans, and potential new fans. If this is the first time you're watching the show that I created, the Talking Machine Show, we've been on air for a year. Just interviewed my 28th Talking Machine great guest last 2 weeks ago. I have another great guest who's going to introduce herself right now.
Hi there, Melissa Mitterator.
And it's a small world, but I was at an event in the North Hills because I'm unusual in Pittsburgh. I live in the South. I crossed 2 rivers to get there. Cadence Clubhouse at North Park is a great facility. And I'm doing an event for the Kidney Foundation. And somebody has a doTERRA table, which a good friend of mine up here had a reverse aging energy spa with saunas, and she sold me different doTERRA products. Now I have to watch different herbs that I take because of my anti-remission drugs with my kidney transplant. By the way, fans, I'm doing very well, feeling well, looking well. No suntan anymore because 1 out of 2 transplantees get skin cancer. SPF 50 I put on. And I used to have great dark tans that you can look at my old photos. But those are the days. We're going to talk about Melissa. Enough about me. I was trying to put her at ease. But she's a great person that's been in the media. We'll get to that. But where were you born at?
I was born in Pittsburgh.
Where at?
Well, I lived in Baden. I was in Economy Borough until I was 12, and then we moved to the North Hills.
Oh, okay.
And
Then where did you go to school?
College or high school?
No, we'll start with grade school.
Grade school? Oh, gosh.
Try to think back.
Ooh, way back.
Yes.
It's like the time machine.
You're in the Talking Machine
time machine.
Part of
elementary was at St. Veronica's in Ambridge.
Ambridge, so you were at Ambridge?
St. Veronica's.
Okay, we got that.
Then
I have
we
friends
moved.
in Ambridge. The first UFC fighter, Chris Dempsey, lives in Ambridge. I had him on my show a few times. We're friends. First UFC fighter. So I know people there, even Ambridge. So now you're at grade school there.
Grade school there. And then we moved to North Hills when I think I was 12.
Okay.
Middle school time, that was
Well,
challenging.
well, how could it not be when you're young? I was a shy kid, believe it or not. And just going to our regular schools in Greentree and Keystone Oaks was always a struggle for me. I was very nervous going to school.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was so anxious, Alan, and I thought that was normal. And I was like, oh, no, it's not.
Well,
But Baden, my childhood, seriously, was like Brady Bunch land.
Really?
Oh, it was so awesome. It's one of those things, and I know not everybody has a great childhood, but I'm so thankful.
I'm one of those ones. I have 3 sisters, 4 of us born in 5 years. Great childhood memories.
Yeah.
Now, as we got to be teenagers and adults, things changed. I'll say the least.
Same. Yes.
So,
but a solid foundation, I think. I'm just grateful for that.
Well, when you have great parents, it helps you get through everything, good and bad.
Yes.
Just to share that. So did you play any sports in school or high school or attempted or you weren't athletic?
I'm left-handed. So
understand
I'm ambidextrous. So things are like in my brain, if I try doing sports, I get confused. And I'm either really good or really bad. In general, my brother got the athletic genes. I did not.
Understand.
I was the nerdy smart one, but I did play volleyball. I would say I was hit or miss on it. I was in a bowling league. Again, hit or miss. Even now, if I go bowling with you, I will either be strikes, get a turkey, or...
I like how you know 3 strikes in a row is a turkey.
Turkey, yeah,
Gobble, gobble.
Come on.
I was in a bowling league for about 20 years, and we had a guy named Rusty, I'll never forget. He would gobble like a turkey loudly when anybody got triples, and we had some good bowlers. I was averaging, not to brag, but it was good, 175, 172.
Nice.
So,
Whoa,
yeah,
that's really
so
good.
I did that, but there were guys, up near 200 and stuff. And my dad was always the anchor on his team, bowling in the 180s, 190s.
I feel like this bowling league thing, my friends and I have been talking about it recently. We want to bring it back. Like, bring it back to those basics of, it's kind of retro
Yeah,
in a
and
way,
it's
but
still
just
popular.
But for like our age group and younger, I feel like it could be one of those fun things. Like we're looking for places to have community and fun without it being like.
Well, I'll go a little off subject and brag that Anthony and Nick and a couple other guys all bowled last night at Mount Lebanon Lanes. I won't ask their scores after the show. We'll find out.
Is it a retro lane? Because that's the thing I like. I've heard the one in Lawrenceville. I think
No, it's
Arsenal
right here.
Still,
It's right here in Mount Lebanon. It's been modernized.
okay, I
Yeah.
like the retro. I like when it has that old bowling alley smell, and which I think Arsenal Lane supposedly still is retro.
I bowled there in a couple events that you could win prize money over the years. Not
Did
that I
you?
won anything big. I think the most I won was $20.
Oh man, the
But
last
that's
time I
back
went, there was
about-
karaoke. I
Yeah.
went to a karaoke / bowling at Arsenal. I don't know if they still do that, but so much fun.
Yeah, they may not. But all right, so you played some volleyball, and you would try to bowl, and you had some success.
Yes.
And my dad was a left-handed guy. Sorry to bring him up, but they taught
No.
him the right-handed and stuff. And as a child, he would switch from right, and he goes, I'll write left-handed.
So he's probably ambidextrous
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. So he
Right.
did, and he played sports,
Nice.
so it works out. So
I like to dance. Does that count as a sport?
yeah,
That's the funny
I
thing.
put-
Like I'm coordinated that way. I like to paddleboard. Like certain things
Those
I
are
can
sports.
do. Okay.
and I even
That I can naturally do.
well, if you were a cheerleader, I've had them
Nope.
ask me over the years, and I said that's a sport because they work out and train for it.
Right.
So my mind is open there. I'm not stuck here. Now,
Because you're not an in the box thinker, Alan.
yeah, you understand. Thanks. I go, where's the box? And I assume you were smart in school.
I was. I was.
And you alluded to it. So you had good grades.
I had good grades and no common sense. That's what my mom would say. That started changing too as I got older, but
Well, sure. You had to
yeah,
mature.
yeah. Right.
Understood. And you have good parents, so they guide you. And they try to.
Yes.
And it doesn't always work. So you wanted to go to college then?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What did you want to be besides a
Well-
princess?
Okay, so here's something. When I was little, I wanted to be a marine biologist. And I had an adult tell me, because I love dolphins, like I'm obsessed with dolphins.
Right.
And he said, well, you're not going to get to work with dolphins. You're probably going to have to like do things with plankton, boring stuff. And I was a little kid and I listened. And I've talked to so many other adult friends of mine.
Yeah.
And they had the same sort of interaction with an adult. And as a little kid, as a little kid, you're so impressionable. So I try to be.
Isn't that the truth? Yes.
So I try to be, when I'm speaking with my nieces and my nephew,
More open.
yeah, and very intentional and think about the things that you say and encourage them. Like, what are their
Right.
natural giftings and things that they love?
No, I know being around kids, little dogs and kids like me, because I treat them eye to eye and I treat them
Yeah.
like adults.
Yep.
And we interact and we play little games. We play football and hockey. I
Mm-hmm.
kick the football and they have memories 25 years later. They'd go, I remember you brought a paper football out, or I remember you brought a nickel out
Ooh.
and we were playing hockey. So,
It's
you
the
know,
little
I've done
things.
those things my whole life. Just wanted to do it. And when I was growing up, I didn't want to lose my childlike curiosity because I noticed when you started at 18, 19. So I've kept that. That's why we're friends and we have common friends.
So many common friends.
And that's why I
That's the
asked
fun-
you, one of my best friends who we did a show with, Healthier, Happier You, Bethany Montecalvo, was my co-star, and we did great. You have to check out those shows.
Okay.
It's called Healthier, Happier You.
Is that on YouTube?
The You, yes.
Okay.
And we did probably a half a dozen or so.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
I
it was
love
good.
that.
Then she moved away, and she's always busy with films and things and other different events that she helps promote, and plus her animals and helping animals. Enough about Bethany. We know she's
I know,
a
but we love her.
superstar. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Shout
Bethany
out to
fan
her.
club.
You can tell her we shouted out to Bethany. Way to go. All right, so what schools were you interested in going to further your degree that you wanted?
Right.
Marine
So,
biology.
because the marine biology thing, I put that to the side. And then I knew I wanted to work in entertainment,
Okay.
but I didn't know exactly
And
what
why?
that meant.
Why were you
'Cause
thinking
I
entertainment?
loved movies. I loved fashion. I loved all of those things from the time I was young.
Right. And music also?
Yes, I worked in music. I started in entertainment in music.
Well, that's why I'm bringing it up. I
I did.
assumed as much.
Yes. Yes.
So you're into all this. What schools were you looking at then? Locally or out of state?
No, Alan. I was like, I want to go to New York or LA or Miami. And my dad said, I'm not paying for you to go to school out of state. And I was really upset because I graduated with over 4.0.
Right.
So, anyways, I started at Pitt.
Congrats
I jumped
to
around.
you. Education, I'm all for it.
And I was actually the first person in my family on both sides to graduate from college. the first.
You're
yeah.
kidding.
And since then, my mom,
I'm
so
honored
proud
to
of her.
have
She
you on.
graduated.
I
my
hope
aunt
you
has her
enjoy my
master's.
superstar guest. She's impressing
be
the
the
heck out of
change.
me. Yeah. Good for
Yes.
you. You got a proud family then.
I do.
So the school you
do.
went to was here?
Well, I jumped around. You ready for
Yeah,
a quick
tell
jump
me.
around?
I'm taking notes.
Because when I decide like that's something I want to do, somehow or another, it's going to work out.
Well, I appreciate stubbornness because I am. Some people call
Persistence.
That's what
I call
everybody
it
corrects me.
persistence.
Guess what? I like being stubborn.
Okay.
I can wear that. But they always tell me you're persistent.
That's my aunt actually got me a shirt that has all these different words on it that she said this shirt is so you and persistent was one of them.
Nice.
So we can't give up.
I will let you carry on. Then.
Okay.
What's the first school?
So I started at Pitt, which is a great school, but
Yes.
when in my heart I wanted to be in a big city. I was ready for it.
Right.
And then I got this is a wild one. I don't think you know this one.
No.
I am smart. I do pay attention. And I was at a concert, and this was back when NSYNC was huge.
Okay.
Okay.
I remember those days.
Yes. And I think I was 19 at the time.
Okay.
And I met somebody at a concert that worked with at an NSYNC concert, and I ended up going out on tour with them.
How
At
cool
19
is
years
that?
old, it changed my world. I was like,
What an impression you made.
it was wild. It was incredible. So I went on
Sure.
tour with them. By
We
the time
won't
I-
ask for all the stories since you were on tour.
It was good. Well, I've
Just
been on
checking.
tour twice in life. It's a very cool experience.
I've heard good and bad to it. From
Well,
men
I think
and
it depends
women.
on right.
Yeah.
I think it depends on probably who you're out there with.
Yeah. It
As
depends
to-
on certain
that-
groups and stuff.
Correct, because I've heard some too that I'm like horrified. I'm like, no, I didn't have
Well,
those
that's
kind
why
of
I
experiences.
said I wouldn't go there, but you ran right with it. So I appreciate
no.
somebody that disagrees.
Depends on just depends
How
on
long did you
things.
tour with them then?
It was over a summer, but by the time I came back, it was too late to go back to school. So I missed
That's
a semester.
why I'm asking. Yes.
So I leave that and come back to Pittsburgh with no school and started working at a restaurant, and I got really depressed. I was like, after just tasting something like
high,
that,
yeah.
and I was like, oh man, what now? So missed a semester, but this is good. When there's people that they say, oh, I want to take some time off before I go to college, like my European friends.
I have friends that did that.
Yeah.
He took off. I was working at the Post Gazette and Press. He took off 2 years to hang with me, and then he goes, "I'm going to be an engineer." I go, "When are you going back?" He goes, "Next semester."
There you go.
And he became a great engineer, had a great career, just retired like I did.
I love it. 'Cause it gave them time, right? Like my European friends, it's the same. Most of them take 1 to 2 years off. They go somewhere
I've
else
heard
and
that.
work.
Yeah.
That way they can explore and see what they really like. Because let's be honest, how many 17 or 18-year-olds know exactly what they want to do with their life?
Very few.
Very few.
Yeah.
And then they get all stressed out. They think the world is ending. It's like, no, no, no. I mean, you and I are testament to this.
Yeah.
Your life will continue to evolve. You will have different careers. Most people, right?
As I've told people, I was supposed to be an architectural engineer, play small college football at Juniata. My dad said the Pittsburgh Press has a son's list. You can start working Saturday night. I started 6 months later. I did a 36-year career at the Post Gazette and Press and negotiated 6 multi-million-dollar contracts from the age of 22.
Oh my, 22 years old.
Youngest ever. So I'm a round peg in a square hole.
I like that.
But not bragging, they've heard me tell that. Sorry to interject some of my
No, it's
life.
so good.
But it's
I love it.
similar parallels that we do have here,
Yeah.
which you never know till you go deeper, and I like to go deep. The
Me
next
too.
school. What's the next
Okay,
goal?
so then I went to community for 6 months.
Smart, save money.
Well, that's from the start. My dad said, why don't you just go to community for 2 years? And in hindsight,
Best move.
well, I should have just done that the first 2 years, but I'm headstrong and I wanted to do what I wanted to do.
Persistent. You're persistent.
Right. There for a semester, back to Pitt for a year, and then I'm like, I'm going to New York. I don't care. I will figure it out.
Well, now you're about 21.
I went there right after I turned 21.
How'd I guess?
Oh, the stories. I mean, it was, wow. Well, I also moved to New York the week before 9/11.
Oh, my goodness.
So this was a lot. It was my first time moving away from home. A lot of kids ended up moving back to their hometowns. We had the option, and I said, I'm staying.
Yeah,
I'm not going anywhere.
right.
So
Wow.
I ended up in New York.
And you're alive to talk about it.
I've been through some, well, I've been through some
Yes.
wild things.
we talked off air, so we'll keep it positive like I want.
Oh, it totally is. But I'm like the cat with the 9 lives thing.
Yeah.
And just keep going.
Oh, and things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always wanted to climb Mount Everest. Now I go around it.
Yes. I like
Little
that.
things like that. You can
Right,
steal
go
it.
around.
Yeah,
Ooh, that's a
and
good one.
sometimes I call it an obstacle because I gave up self-negative talk.
Yes.
So it's all about positive things. Well, this is a bump in the road. Or maybe I'm not supposed to
Right.
do this. God is guiding me not to take that path. Like, that was a great idea. No, it wasn't. It's not your time.
Well, because we have our ideas, but his plan is always, I mean, time and time again, his plan is so much better than
Well,
what I think up.
That's why I
Like,
wanted to touch on it, because I know you're a strong believer in God and
Absolutely.
you know, leads you in your life. We're in His hands, and you trust that.
Oh.
So we'll carry on.
100%.
Did you graduate in New York from what school?
I did. Marymount Manhattan, which is a little
That's
liberal
a
arts
mouthful.
school. Marymount Manhattan.
Wow.
And it was great. I've created jobs for myself, and my mom reminds me of this. She's like, remember like the job. Literally, my first job,
Yeah.
I was selling little tiny pretzel sticks on the buses in elementary school, and my mom got phone calls from parents. They were really mad. Do you remember those little boxes?
Yeah,
they were
I
like
do.
little rectangle. I was, I guess, selling like one or two for $0.25, and the kids were
bad.
giving me money.
Not bad. They
So I was
like,
an entrepreneur from a young age.
hey, we are. I know what that's like from being a paper boy and selling different
Yeah.
things over the years. I
Yes.
always had side jobs at the Pittsburgh Press.
You had side hustles before side hustles were a thing.
Exactly. I'll tell you one off air that's a really cool story that I did.
Okay.
And it has to do with blue toilet water cleaners.
Oh.
They were first invented back when I graduated high school in '74. I'll tell
Okay.
you that story after the show.
Okay,
You'll
all
love
right.
it. All right, now, so
Yes.
now you graduate. What was the
Graduated.
next plan?
Well, so while I was in New York and graduating, again I was at a concert. This time it was a Britney Spears concert.
There's a theme.
I love music.
Yeah.
From
I
the
could
time
tell
I get
now.
up in the morning, I mean, for me now, I turn praise and worship music on when I wake up in the morning.
Sure. You're
But
allowed to be inspired.
I think it sets the tone for your day.
It does.
What
Even
you're
going
listening
to bed, I like to go to bed with different Mozart and songs
Oh,
like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It helps your brain, they say.
Makes sense. Calm
So,
it down.
Little things.
Yes.
All right, so now Britney Spears
So
is in
Britney
your
Spears, yes. So
life. How did you tour with her?
I didn't tour with her. I ended up working for her management team, and this was back in her big payday
How did
too.
you do that?
Tapped on her manager's shoulder at a concert.
And asked.
21 years, I said, I want to work for you. I want to intern for you. I thought at that point, I was like, maybe I'll go into entertainment law, thinking this. And then her lawyer manager is right there, and I created an internship at his law firm.
First
Yes.
ever.
There was nobody else. So I got to kind of I used to go out dancing with her. I mean, I had some
For all of
awesome
you
stories.
young ladies that have these ideas, and even guys, here's living proof. Create your own job and get hired.
You just got to ask. Like what my dad always says is, the worst you're going to get is no. And he's like, guess what? You get a no, next.
I've told my kids that for years. I said, if you don't ask, you'll never know.
Right.
And if they tell you no, there's something else.
I love that. It's even like I was at a restaurant with my friends on Sunday night, and it was a high top, and it was not comfortable seats. And I'm like, I saw in the back corner, it looked really welcoming. It had the cushions and the pillows and the fan, and just looked so inviting. So I just asked, hey, can we get that table? And they were busy, but they're like, yeah, sure, we'll clean it off for you. Makes for such a better experience.
You're
because
the
all
leader
you
of the
did was
group.
ask. Yes.
Very good. I
I'm not a
understand.
follower. I know you're not either.
What's following?
Not in our wheelhouse.
But I've learned that if you want me to follow, I can follow. But somehow they always put me in leadership roles, so I seem to thrive in it.
Me too.
Hence, coming up with a talking machine show that we can bring these things out. What a superstar I brought on this week for my 29th show. You're outstanding. We got about 10 minutes to go.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
we've gone over only
hit the
about
college,
half
half
of
my
your
life.
life. Yeah, I can do math. I started doing it when you told me about 911. So I'm good at numbers. I never
love
ask a
numbers,
woman
too.
their age, and you don't have to put it out there. So we'll carry on. I know some don't mind, and I'm sure you're one
I
of
do. I'm
those.
turning 42 next month.
Well,
I'm pretty proud of that.
Yes.
I'm alive.
Understand. I was going to say that for when you turn 21. I sort of knew.
Yeah.
Just a lucky guess.
Literally half my life.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, then. What's next after your intern job with the law firm for
Right.
Britney Spears?
Decided that working in entertainment law was not for me. I'm not an office person. I've tried it a couple times. That's another one of those I do not fit into that mold. I've
Well,
tried.
I call it the box, and I understand if you don't go
Can't
for
do
the
it.
box.
Right.
Yes.
So I moved back to Pittsburgh
Whoa.
with the intent of moving to Los Angeles 6 months later. So I come home, I'm working bartending. I had started Maniac Magazine with my friend April Hubel.
You're kidding. You started a magazine.
Yes, and she knew when we started it that I was going off to LA. I said, I'll help you get it going. Sure. We just got out of college.
Right.
It was wild.
Sure.
She did really well. She took it and ran. And yeah, I just had several jobs going on to save money.
Nice.
Right? And the plan was to move right after Christmas. Well, the day before Thanksgiving, I was in Florida on vacation, and I got hit
Working
by a car.
on your tan? Oh, and by the way, Melissa got the email. Wear white.
Told you, Alan, I wear white year-round now.
Well,
White and cream, wintertime, don't care if it's snowing. It just, I think of what you wear, it really...
well, that's
it
your
sets
style.
It makes me feel light and positive.
And full of energy.
That's right.
Very
When I wear
good.
black clothes, I feel like, yeah.
I'll wear it once in a while. That way it
I
doesn't...
used to wear it all the time in New York, and now my black clothes, my closet, I never. Very rarely pull them
They
out.
accumulate dust.
I'm getting rid of them,
Understand.
clearing them out.
Well, I saw what you did with, we'll get into some of that,
Oh,
with what you're doing.
Yes,
So
so much fun.
we'll check on that. So now
Right.
you go to LA. I'm trying to follow
Didn't
this.
go to LA. So I was
Oh,
supposed to
no.
go the day before Thanksgiving. I was on vacation in Florida, and I got hit by a car, and my body flew over 100 feet. I was in a wheelchair for a while. I was almost a quadriplegic. It was 3 years of surgeries. It's almost like its whole own story, but
Yeah.
had the near-death experience, saw my
Really? And
angels,
the-
went to heaven.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. My
I believe
father
in that.
actually, it's really interesting. My dad, around the same age, had an accident as well where he was hit. And
my goodness.
we both saw the same things on the other side. So I used to be terrified of dying. I mean, terrified from the time I was little. But after I experienced that, I'm like, okay, I'm not ready to go yet, but I
It's
know
not
when I
my
do
time.
go,
Yes.
it's not, God still had things for me to do.
No, that is
Okay.
great. No.
Yes.
So now you're injured. Your dreams are quashed.
Oh yeah. So it was 3 years of surgery. I had to have surgery, rehabilitation, wait.
So now to put
My
the
life
age,
slowed down.
you're now only 24-ish.
I was 23 when it happened, right? I was like 26, 27 by the
Okay.
time I was done. And I'm like, well, what can I do now? I mean,
Yeah.
what am I going to do? And I literally was ready to, I was going to pack up my little cabriolet and move to Wilmington, North Carolina, because I knew there was a film studio there. I didn't know what I was going to do, but you know, you're in your 20s, you just don't think about it.
You're invincible.
Well, but then here's again, God had other plans. So I will never forget this. My pajamas are on, I'm going nowhere.
Yeah.
Game over, done. I had my PJs on that night. I was watching the movie Old School, and I got a message from somebody about going to a Pittsburgh film party
Yeah.
that night. And I was like, I'm not going out. And it was God. You know, when you get that whisper in the ear? He's
Yeah,
like,
I've had
go, go.
Yeah.
Got myself dressed, went. Saw Nancy Mosser, which I had taken acting classes with her when I was in high school. I was
You're
like, she's
kidding.
never going to remember me. She did. And she said, hey, I'm looking for people. This is when the film started picking up in Pittsburgh again.
Yeah.
She hired me. So I was like, how am I going to, you know, those times you're like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I still do this. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how it's going to happen. But God does.
Yeah. You
Those
trust.
moments when
You
you're
gotta
on your
trust.
knees. Oh, and it's hard, right?
Yeah.
When things are challenging. I'm still going through a challenging season.
Oh, I know.
But I know
understand.
he works it out.
Yeah.
So
And-
that's how I got into the business.
And you don't know what time it'll happen. Like you could try something for a
Oh.
year or two,
Yep.
and I know people
Yep.
struggle, and I believe God tests us, and He wants to see if you lose faith.
Right.
So I just say keep the faith.
Yeah.
I
That's
had
so
guys
good.
at work, they go, how can you fight corruption and you know these guys hate you? And I go, I have strong faith. And I beat
will
the
get through.
corruption, changed how my union operated because of God. I believe it helped people's lives, and I did things that nobody else ever did there. So
And you
I'm-
acted in his time. I
Yes.
think that's the other part of it.
I
There's so many
couldn't-
times we want to do it right now, but if we step out of his timing,
Yeah, and I just let him go. So wherever he
Yeah.
guided me,
love
like there'd be a
that.
problem here, I'd solve that. Then
Right.
I'd see this, and I'm like, which one? So I just went to where he guided me, and I'd solve a problem here, and they go, how do you know that? I go, I don't. Never do. It's God. So it's like a mystery, and they'd go, you don't know what you're talking about. I go, just
Okay.
watch me, and I did that for 7 years. plus negotiate the multi-million-dollar contracts every 2 or 3.
You are so awesome.
Yeah, that's just part of mine. But so are you.
I love it.
So are you. Well, we got to get down we got 5 minutes to go.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Can we tell what you're doing now?
What I'm doing now.
And how I even met you with
Or how I
doTERRA
left.
and how
Yeah.
you counsel people and help people and others?
Right. So
Let's
I'll
do
do
it now. Come
here's
on.
the tail end of 20 years working in entertainment. We'll just say that, right? Tail end of it.
Can we mention J-Lo?
Yes, so that's what I say. The tail end of my 20-year career in entertainment and music and film and TV and all of it. The last 5 years, I worked for Jennifer Lopez as her dresser. I was her on-set stylist for film and TV projects.
What a blessing.
That's another wild one, how that happened. And
How did you meet her is what I need to ask for our fans.
How did what?
How did you meet J-Lo?
It was through her people that they initially hired me, and then she would request me every time that she had a project.
So she recognized you out of the crowd.
No, her people picked me initially.
Okay.
Yes.
All
Based
right.
on other things I had done and people I'd worked with.
Your
They
experiences.
selected me, yes.
Wow, that is so cool. And 5 years with her.
5 years with her.
Then what happened?
So I was with her on Hustlers, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer at 38 years old, which,
We've talked.
yes, that dramatically
They need to know, yes.
changed my life.
What was the
Huge.
prognosis with that? And how did they find it?
I found it, actually.
Okay.
That'll take
Well,
me a long time.
we'll put that
I found it, but most women, because I have women that come to me all the time now that
That's
are
why
diagnosed.
I want you to share that with them.
Yeah. That most people, when they find it, they're ourselves, that it's usually at an earlier stage.
Hopefully, yes.
And it's also making sure that you're super proactive. So after I'm going through the whole breast cancer journey, my oncologist is like, you cannot keep working in this industry. It's, you're working 12 to 18-hour days.
Or more, yeah.
Or more.
Yeah.
Or more. And I really dove into natural health. Like, it's something,
You just were guided.
well, and it's something on my own. That's what I was always studying, and I was so into. When people would
Me
say, if you
too.
didn't work in entertainment, what'd you do? And I said, something helping other people and with nature.
No, I was too with vitamins and holistic things.
I know you're super into it
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So
I'm
God
deep.
opened up that pathway.
A lot of similarities here.
I know. But it's like, if we're open, we'll see where he's guiding us.
Sure.
So then 2020 happened, and I literally got that message from God, it's time to go. And I had this awesome, my apartment in Brooklyn was so great.
Really?
But when he tells you to go,
You go.
I was like, okay,
So you
pack it
came
up.
back to Pittsburgh.
Which I swore I'd never come back. Right?
Don't do that.
I know. When you say, because God's like, ha, you wait and see. But it's been great. I mean, it was the best. It's been so healing being back with my family and community and
Right.
nice people. And so now, yes, I help people with holistic health, helping people
Sure.
find ways, whether it's if they've
How
gone
do-
the cancer journey or they're going anxiety issues or
I don't usually put women's telephone numbers out, so I won't. But how do they reach you? Through a website or?
my website's being built right now. But
Okay. How can they get a hold of you then? Because I'd like to.
do my email.
With the last minute or so, tell them twice because I'm
Okay, so
hard
the
of
holistic
hearing,
health,
so-
and now too, I'm getting back into my styling. So I'm doing personal organization
I know it's
and
fantastic.
styling for individuals.
Get a hold of Melissa.
Yes, it's so much
what
fun.
she did in closets, it's off the charts.
I love it.
Truly.
So my email is Melissa, so it's MELISSA, the number 2 @gmail.com, and my Instagram is it's Melissa, MELISSA, MITTEREDER. It's Melissa Mitterator is my Instagram, and my website's going to be Edit and Elevate because it's a whole lifestyle brand of helping people to
Understand.
simplify their
We'll,
lives.
we'll put this in the credits. My
Awesome.
guys will put that in there. And
Okay.
now you heard it from Melissa. We got about 30.
so JLo stylists can come and style you.
Yes, there you go. You
I
can
love it.
you can piggyback on a great name. We got about 20 seconds. Anything else you want to cover briefly?
I'm grateful that I met you. Thank you. I mean,
You're
seriously,
welcome.
we always have great conversations,
Yes,
but
we
thank
do.
you for letting me be able to come and share part of my story.
Well, thank you for being another great person to inspire other Pittsburghers.
Keep on going.
That's
the
part.
thing.
That's
Keep
part of
on
what I'm
going.
bringing here is don't quit.
That
Look-
moment when you're ready to quit is when you're on that brink of a miracle, that thing you've been working for. And I keep on seeing that time and time again. We have one more step.
Amen to that. Thank all of you for watching my shows, your great feedback. I hope you enjoyed this show as much as I did. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
See you next time for the 30th Talking Machine Show.